Hey everybody, this is Crystal Jordan, and I just decided I'm getting ready to go do a conversation on relationships, and I'm actually here get, getting ready to go do that. But I thought I would just jump on live really quickly because I saw the conversation for the reunion for Put a Ring on It, right? And if you guys haven't seen that, it's a show on OWN. And basically, there are couples that come on and they're trying to figure out if they should go to put a ring on it at the altar or if they should break up, right? They're at that point in their relationship where it's come to a head, and you got to figure out if you need to go with it or let it burn, right? So anyway, in the process of doing that, they go out with other couples, like they go out with other singles. So couples come in to try to figure out if they are supposed to stay together. And a way of doing that is to date someone else to see if, maybe you're settling, maybe you're moving too fast, maybe you haven't considered there could be other possibilities out there. Well, on this particular season, one of the young ladies wanted to get married. She wants to have another baby, but she has a baby already. So she went out on a date with a guy that said that he was a high value man, and as a high value man, he did not want to date women with children. And so that became a huge social media conversation. You guys know how people do on social media. Something happens, and all of a sudden, everybody is offended, everybody is triggered, and people want to go in on the person, talk bad about them. And so I just decided, you know what? I think this is the thing. I think that everyone needs to keep their preferences to themselves, because what happens with preferences is when you say what your preferences are out loud. A few weeks ago, we heard Ebony K. Williams said she did not prefer to date a bus driver, and that caused people to go crazy, right? Iyanla Vanzant came back and showed a very, very attractive bus driver that was a supervisor. Anyway, it was a whole thing. But the thing about it is we all have preferences, right? But I think the thing about preferences is they're personal to us. I was a divorced woman for 10 years. I had 2 children. I met a lot of men that did not want to date women with children. At first, I'm not going to lie, at first I was insulted, right? Because Myra says it was how he said it. He made it seem as though dating women with children was beneath him. Absolutely. I agree with you. It was how he said it. But I think I think preferences are personal. Okay. Preferences are personal. I dated guys that when they met me, they did not want to date a woman with children. They did not want to date a woman seriously. Let's get it clear. Most men are fine having sex, hanging out, eating food, allowing women that have kids to cook them dinner, but they don't want to a lot of them don't actually want to be in a relationship long term because they don't want to take care of the children. A lot of women don't want to date a man that's not a certain height or that does not have a certain amount of money. A lot of men don't want to date a woman that's a certain size, a certain height. A certain weight. Usually men don't have a height issue as so much as they have a weight issue. All of us have preferences, right? Everybody has preferences. Not only that, for myself, I had children, right? And I definitely, was attracted to some guys that didn't have children, but I have a little brother, or I have a younger brother, who didn't have children. And so if he was dating a woman, I don't necessarily know that I would suggest he date a woman with children. You know what I mean? If he doesn't have any, right now, my daughter is 27. My daughter doesn't have children. I tell her that she should find a man that does not have children. Everybody has preferences, and you cannot be upset with someone because of their preferences. What you can be upset about is the delivery, or if people feel like they're better. But at the end of the day, all of us have preferences, and you have a right to those preferences. I think the issue is, number one, delivery and how you say things. But then also, when you're setting these preferences, you need to make sure that what you want would actually want you, right? I watch Kendra G's show. I'm a big fan. You guys have to just excuse me because I'm getting dressed. But I watch Kendra G's show, and there are so many people that come on that show wanting something that they are not. And it's like, I actually saw a girl that was on there that had 4 kids, 3 different baby fathers, but she did not want a guy that had multiple baby mamas. I hate that term, but at that point, at 3, 4, multiple, that's exactly what it is. And it's just like, girl, we have got to stop wanting something that we don't represent. And so I think you could lose your blessings if you're not open to things, but then also there are certain things that I don't think that you should settle for something that you don't want. And then because if, that's not going to work, the person's going to be miserable, you're going to be miserable, right? If you are a woman that does not want to date a man that is under 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", you probably will end up missing out on an amazing man. But if you got with that man that was 5'7", would you be able to treat him with respect? Would you be able to, you know, treat him like you would a man that was 6'2"? At the end of the day, guys, everybody has preferences, and we get upset when someone's preference doesn't include us. But do we also consider our preferences, right? I know a lot of the women that are screaming about men having, not wanting to date a woman with children. They won't date a man that's under 6 feet tall, or they won't date a man that doesn't make six figures. So do you not feel like some men that are 5'7", 5'6", are their feelings not supposed to be hurt? Is it only outrageous when it includes what you want? And the same thing with men. I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine. He is absolutely mortified, from a woman that is not super slim, right? He's like constantly afraid he's going to end up with a woman that's overweight. He's looking at wrists, he's looking at breast to stomach ratio and all that stuff. And I'm just like, but guess what? That's his preference. That's his preference. And so, a lot of times he'll go out with a girl that's really into him and he'll be like, she's too big for me. But if the woman got with him, would he treat her the right way? Probably not. Probably not. So I am of the thought that I don't want anything that doesn't want me, right? If a man didn't want to date a woman that had children, I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to go back and forth with you. I have children and that's my life and that's what it is. If you don't have children, you have a right to say, I don't want to do that or whatever. We all have a right to our preferences. I think the problem is we're sharing our preferences. And then we're super triggered and super sensitive when someone else's preference doesn't include us. And that's just not realistic, guys. On either side, men, if you don't want a woman that her waist to breast to hip ratio is off kilter, well, you can't get upset when she doesn't want someone that doesn't have muscle tone. Okay. And if you want a woman that is going to be submissive and clean and cook, you can't get mad when she wants a man that is going to pay all the bills. And just enough for everybody. Okay. Enough. Everybody has preferences. You don't have to be, disrespectful when naming those preferences. I think the guy that was on, I can't think of his name. If you guys know the name of the guy that was on Put a Ring on It, he was a little obnoxious with the way he was presenting it. But the reality is there are a lot of men that feel like that. And if you don't have children, I think you have a right to say, I want to date someone else that doesn't have children. Like I said, I will say it. I tell my daughter she does not have children. She does not need to deal with a guy that has children. Now, if she meets one and falls in love, that's her business because she has to do what's best for her. But I'm just saying everybody has preferences. That's a part of life. And you cannot get offended when someone else's preference does not include you, but yet you are clear about what preferences you have. And I'm just speaking specifically to women because a lot of times we are very quick to say what we want in a man. But when a man comes back with preferences for us, we get very offended, and we have to realize that everybody has a right to that. So anyway, I want to wish you all a blessed Saturday. I'm getting ready to go have another conversation about relationships. But I am excited about Monday's conversation. If you guys tune in, there's going to be an alert. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel so you can get an alert because Monday I am having a conversation on Queen Charlotte, the Shonda Rhimes series on Netflix. And we are talking about mental illness as it relates to relationships. And I can say, I have never seen mental health and mental illness addressed in a love story ever. I've never seen that. And that's why I loved Queen Charlotte. I think there's a lot to unpack. I'm going to have author Casey Mills is going to join me and we're going to have a conversation about mental health as it relates to relationships. Trust me, guys, you do not want to miss this conversation. That's something that we don't really talk about. You know, there are so many people that are in relationships, dating people, and in the middle of that, you realize that there's something going on here. There's something happening. You know, a lot of people are undiagnosed with mental illnesses. And so it's something that we need to talk about. And I think that if you haven't watched Queen Charlotte, it is a six episodes, so it's super easy. You can watch it over the weekend and then join us on Monday right here on my channel for the conversation. But you guys have a great weekend. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. I will be jumping back in. Thank you so much, Chinese. I'll be doing more of these. I really want to focus on the channel, promoting the book and just conversations from a positive perspective. But guys, we have to be realistic. We cannot be, as women, a part of the accountability factor that we're going to be talking about on this channel is we cannot ask and demand something that we're not willing to offer as well. And so that's my thing. If you are a man and you do not want to date a woman that has children, that's fine. You don't have to put women down that do. You can keep it moving, sir. But at the point that you are a part of that that number, then I think you probably have to change, because we all should be willing to. We're going to attract what we are. And if you don't want something, then just, politely move along. Everybody needs better manners and etiquette and everything. But anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. I will see you guys back here on Monday. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. Make sure you spend it with people that you love, and make sure that you get a little bit of peace so that you can be ready to approach the summer with all you have. I love you all for watching, and I will see you guys on Monday. All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye.